Hi everyone, welcome to Beyond the Evidence. This is the channel where justice matters. My name is Marv. I am a true crime fanatic, and I love to dig deeper into the mysteries of unsolved cases. Join me as we search for missing persons, uncover the clues in unsolved murders, follow along with jury trials, and we'll be a voice for the voiceless. I'll share with you the facts, the theories, the clues, the evidence, and the controversies that surround these cases. This is Beyond the Evidence. Hello everyone, how are you? I hope everyone is having a good night. I got some information on the hearing transcripts for Delphi, and I'm not alone in getting that information. So we're working together to hopefully have everybody work with us to be able to pay for those transcripts. Just give me 1 second here. I am working on a setting here. I'm not able to get it. Okay. I'll just have to mess with it later. All right. So I don't know if criminality is in the chat yet, but we both inquired about the transcripts for the hearings. And well, it was a shock as to what we were told. And I'm going to do a share screen here. So this is, hang on, add stage, there we go. This is the email that I got regarding getting the transcripts for the 3-day hearing. Based on the hearing length, 21 and a half hours of actual in-court time, the estimated page count is 750. An estimated cost is $4,312.50. That is $5.75 per page. I require a down payment of 50% to secure preparation. The balance of the cost will be due upon completion. Upon payment in full, the transcript will be transmitted to you. Please be advised the above amount is an estimated only. Actual cost of payment may vary from this amount. Payment can be made in cash, cashier's check, or money order. Estimated preparation time will be at least 4 to 6 weeks, as I have transcripts for appellate cases that must take priority over all other requests, as well as the fact that this is a very long hearing. If you're interested in proceeding with preparation, please let me know and I will give you further instructions on completing the down payment process. Well, then I sent an email and I said, why is it $5.75 a page? And I got, because the transcript has to be typed. If one has been prepared, then a copy would be available for $1 per page. But no one has ordered one. And so if you would like one, you have to pay for the work required to prepare it. The per page rate is set by local rule. So after that, I put out a message on the YouTube community page, my Discord, couple of people's Facebook group pages, and Criminality got a hold of me via email, and she wants to know if we want to work together. And I said, absolutely. Now, here's the problem. If no one orders the transcripts and pays for the initial cost to get them completed, we're going to have to raise about $4,300 to $4,400 to get them. Even if the attorneys or somebody else pay that amount, and we still have to pay $1 per page, that's $750 up to $800, I'm going to say. Because right now she's estimating 750 pages. Criminality and I do not have $750 to pay for the transcripts. So what we would have to do is get donations to pay for them, to get all 3 days worth. So let's see what everybody's saying here. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I agree. $5 a page, forget it. Actually, it's more like $6 because it's $5.75. Hello, Frank. Hello, everybody else. It's cheaper if an attorney submits first. That's what we have to hope, is that one of the attorneys request it. India makes transparency very difficult. Yes, they do. Now, I have to say this isn't the first time this has happened to me. Because with Tabitha Shuck-Rain's case, I asked for the transcripts for Elizabeth Balser's trial. They told me it cost over $12,000 because somebody would have to go transcribe them because it's never been done. So that is not worth it. Save for the trial. Even the $1 per page is over. Yes, I know. The first transcript will always be the most expensive. No biggie. I'll kick in some search to get it. Thank you. Sounds like they don't like following through on FOIA requests. No, they're following through on it. It's just that the first person that gets it is going to pay for it to actually be transcribed. Can you get it for $1 a page? I'm sure, hoping that somebody orders it and that we can get it for the $1. Okay, can one of the mods drop my Cash App and the PayPal and the Venmo links? I put them in earlier in the live, so if you can put that in, that would be great. Let's see. Yes, please hit that like and share and subscribe. How are you feeling, Marv? Well, they changed my medicine, so I'm still in the process of regulating my blood sugar. It is getting better. But like today, headaches all day long. So it's still up and down, but it is getting better. Yeah, Brandon, I agree. What do you mean? What about Kevin on Murder Sheet? Do they plan on getting it? Yes, the $750 price is only if someone else orders a transcript first. Who's been fighting? I don't know. Who is it? Well, yes, it may take 6 weeks to arrive because she's got other appellate cases to do. Anti-woke official. Alan will make a deal by then. We'll see. Hi, criminality. How are you? I'm going to put the link in the chat, criminality. If you want to come up, go ahead. The defense has already requested 2 hearing transcripts already. Wouldn't surprise me if they did request this one also. I agree, and that's what I'm hoping they do. No, apparently they do not automatically transcribe them. Whoever orders and pays for them first pays for them to get transcribed. Oh, sorry about that. Let's see here. Okay, so Carly put in Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo in there for everybody in the chat. Yeah, there's plenty of attorneys on YouTube. I'm assuming somebody's going to order these. Let's see. Criminality saying the same thing. I'm hoping the attorneys request their copy so we can get them cheaper. Exactly. That is the goal. But even with it being cheaper, we're still going to need everybody's help. That's for sure. Now, I don't know, criminality, if they're going to email us. Here we go. Here she comes. Hello.
Hi, thank you for inviting me up.
Oh, absolutely. Since we were emailing each other because we were freaking about
Yes.
that price. I know I went, oh my God.
Well, I mean, I shouldn't really be surprised, but I was surprised. I was like, holy smokes, $4,300 for 3 days. I'm like, if they don't, we don't have audio or video for the trial. Can you imagine? Well, I mean, the attorneys, if he's convicted, will automatically request a transcript for the appeal. But
right.
I mean, the trial is going to be an outrageous amount.
Oh, I know. And it's absolutely crazy how that works, because a lot of people are under the assumption that they're automatically translated, and that's not the case.
Right. So, and you probably said this before I came in too, is so obviously the first person who requests them. So let's say like I request them, I pay the $4,300, and then Marv requests them, then she could pay the $750. Right. Or vice versa. So anybody, like even just us, once it's done, it's done, and then they charge $1 essentially just to copy the page. So right. The big cost is to actually have it transcribed. The defense attorneys can request it, and because Richard Allen is indigent, they wouldn't have to actually pay for it. The state actually would have to pay for it, and then we could get it for $1 a piece. So I didn't know who was actually going to be requesting them, and then I saw your post on your community wall, and I was like, oh, I love Marv, so let me just reach out to her real quick. And then I'm like, hey, and it doesn't, for me, if you guys know me at all, like, I don't care whether somebody thinks he's innocent, thinks he's guilty.
Right.
Everybody who goes and sits in the courtroom is seeing it through their own perspective. And since we can't have audio audio, she won't stream it, then we need that the best we're going to get is the transcript to get the truth. And I think no matter where we fall on a spectrum of guilt or innocence, everybody wants it.
Right.
So I'm like, why? Let's just work together and figure out, like, you know, people have been contributing because they knew I was going to request them. And Marv was talking about it on our community wall, like, hey, if we want these, let's do it.
Yep.
Well, that's why I'm like, we could just do it as a community and just say, hey, we all want these transcripts and go that route.
And I'm assuming because it's so many pages, they are not going to email those to us.
They've never emailed me any transcript. I have to have them picked up in court. So I have a friend that is very close to the courthouse. So I send her money, she cashes it, and then she has to take cash to the courthouse, and then she hands the cash, they hand her the transcript.
Okay, perfect. Now, do you have somebody to scan them into the computer?
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say,
does all of that.
I scan them in too. It took me about 3 hours to scan in some documents.
So I think she has a friend who has who goes in, same person. So she has a friend who works somewhere that they can scan them in super cheap. Awesome. So we just go that route. She scans them in for me. I mean, she's a freaking doll, and I wouldn't be able to do it without her. So it makes it so much easier. And then when she sends them, then I can like kind of organize them, and because they get sent like in batches of like however much she can scan at a time versus like an entire hearing. So you have to kind of smush the PDFs together, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So the one that I did one continuous PDF of each page. I think it was 196 pages, and it took me a couple hours to scan them all in, but I did it in all one continuous PDF and then save that PDF, and I was able to put it on like the Discord and things like that, because I have a boosted Discord. So
oh, sweet. I have a Discord that I literally haven't opened. I just put like documents and stuff in there because I was like, this is like a good organization place.
Yeah.
So there's like 4 of us in there, and that's it.
Yeah. If you looked at mine, there's so many folders in there for so many different cases. It's not even funny.
That's good though. It keeps everything so organized. I need to get on that. I need that organization in my life.
I've actually started putting all my research in Discord, and then I can look through that person's file and create a script and everything for the live stream to do. So
right.
It's actually really nice. But like I said, in this case, originally the first person that orders the transcripts, because I've got people coming in and they're asking how much are the transcripts.
Right.
The first person has to pay for the hearing to get transcribed. Right now, we're being quoted an estimate of $4,300. Now, once somebody requests that and pays for it, the next person would only have to pay $1 per page. But that's still going to be, I'm saying, between $750 and $800, because she doesn't know exactly how many pages she has until it gets transcribed. So what we're thinking is that with the creators that we have, me and Criminality, and if anybody else that is a creator wants to join in, we're going to get donations from everybody to be able to pay, hopefully, that smaller amount to get the transcripts.
We just have to keep our fingers crossed that they request it. I don't know if there's anything that the defense team had requested the transcripts from the May, was it the May hearing? But that was so they could have it because it had to do with, with their appeals and what they were going to do with the Supreme Court and, all of those things. I don't know if they are going to request these. If they don't feel that they need them, I don't know if they will request them. It would make sense that they would, but they haven't yet.
Yeah. Yep.
Justice. Yes.
True crime with Frank Meister says, yeah, I had to scan nearly 1,000 pages. Yep. If they're going to give out transcripts, I don't understand why the audio recording just can't be requested. It's even more for that, as far as I know, trying to get different things for Tabitha's case. It should not be this hard or expensive to get transcripts. I'm sorry.
It shouldn't. So it's interesting because I've covered a lot of cases. I've requested a lot of files, and some cost money, some don't. Some cases, they literally just send you the entire file, and they're just like, here you go. Here's everything we have, and it's completely free.
Yep.
And then there's other cases that they charge you out the wazoo to just get a couple documents. Like the Letitia Stout case was one that I really felt like they were doing highway robbery, because they weren't even backing it down for the second people. It was people requesting it, and we were all being charged the exact same price for the documents, for the videos, for everything.
Yep.
So some counties, some states, just that's how they do it.
Yeah, it's crazy how everyone is different. It's just asinine. And I do have an individual that said that they know of a committee that reviews like price gouging in this kind of instance. So she was going to get me that information, because she's like, there's no way you should have to pay that amount.
Oh, well, that would be good. From my understanding, this number on how they charge is actually like from the Indiana Supreme Court. I don't know. I don't have that paperwork to back that up, but that's my understanding of where they come up with this cost, which is, it's just ridiculous. I mean, like, the only positive I can say is the second person does get it for much cheaper, but it's already out there now. So it'll already be out if one of us gets it. So I'm like, why wouldn't we just all do it together and just bring it out to the community?
Exactly. And that's why I said, if any other creator wants to join in with us, and all the donations go to one person so that we can get these, then so be it. It's just crazy that it's going to cost this amount. And I think it's because it's a high profile case and they want to bring in as much revenue as they can.
Yeah, I think Frank Meister just said too. He's like, small town, no money, trying to make money.
Yep. So, people have been messaging me, did you get the transcripts? And I'm like, no, not yet. I haven't even got an answer. She just got back from vacation. And I'm like, and then I got that email, and I'm like, what in the hell is that all about?
I think I had my heart set on the fact that the defense attorneys were going to request it. And I was like, all right, so this should be about $800, maybe $1,000. We can raise that.
Right.
No problem. And then the other thing is, though, is like, even raising like $4,000, it's like, that's just an incredible amount of money to go to pieces of paper.
Right. And in today's technology, I mean, you can put it on a freaking flash drive, and just charge a flat fee for it for your time of doing it.
Right.
Printing out all this paper. I mean, they're really ripping people off into today's technology.
Mm-hmm.
It should not be that hard to get these.
Did she also tell you that she needed half down to even start on the entire thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's probably just a copy paste, because it sounds she said the exact same thing to both of us.
Yeah, because I think you missed that part, but I showed the email.
Oh, okay.
Where she said she needed half.
Let me pull mine up.
Yeah, it's right here. I require a down payment of 50%, $2,156 to secure preparation. The balance of the cost will be due upon completion. Upon payment in full, the transcript will be transmitted to you.
And it will be transmitted to you?
Well, I don't think it's going to be, I think she means mailed, not transmitted.
Oh, okay.
but I can see. But she says, please be advised the above amount is an estimate only. Actual cost of payment may vary from this amount. Payment can be made in, and she tells the forms. And then she says it'll be 4 to 6 weeks as they have transcripts for appellate cases that must take priority. And
so I think it's essentially the same. She doesn't, because I've already ordered transcripts, I don't have the transmission part, but it's essentially the same. Based on the hearing length, it's the page count is approximately 750, estimated 43,1250, require 50% down. Estimated preparation time would be 4 to 6 weeks because she has appellate cases to take care of.
Yeah.
And it was a very long hearing, she says, as well as this was a very long hearing. So I emailed her back and just asked, like, can I get a breakdown? Would it be easier to request
per day?
Because I think for most people, by day and by hearing would probably be better anyway. And it seems that the second day, which is the motion to suppress and the motion for admissibility, I think was the most confusing for a lot of people because people's notes varied a lot.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, we'll start with that one. So maybe just give me the cost of that.
And I asked her, I said, why is it $5.75 a page? And she said, because the transcription has to be typed. If one has been prepared, then a copy would be available for $1 per page. But no one has ordered one. So I'm like, oh, come on, attorneys, order these.
So I mean, maybe that's kind of the thing. It's like it's going to take us a little bit to raise some money, to raise the the funds for it, regardless. So hopefully, maybe this coming week, now that they're all back and settled in, that they will request them. Right. I don't know if they're going to need them, so they may not. They may not request them if they don't think that they need them. It would make sense that they would, especially because I know some of the things that, like with Holman and Cicero and a few of the people, they're going to want the transcript to be able to say, like, hey, during your testimony at this hearing, you said XYZ, and then they present it to the person who's on the stand. So it would make sense that they get them, but there's just no guarantee. Right. There's no guarantee when they'll request them.
Right. Well, and the reason I want them, like you said, everybody that went there, Aspen, Jinx, Rescue All the Dogs, Turbo Time, who am I missing?
There's a ton, like Bob Mata was there.
The lady
Yellow Jacket was there. Jinx was there. I don't know I think you said Jinx. Turbo was there.
Yep.
Then we had True Grit Crime that was there. I had another lady who goes by Crank who was there. So I mean, a lot of people were there, but all their notes vary just a little bit based on perception and also based on what they could and couldn't hear. So some people's distances were a little different. Some said 30, some said no, it was actually 3. Frosty was there. And Laura was there.
There's some things that I was told that aren't even in any of the notes.
I actually heard things from news people when I was watching like all the news clips of Joe Schmo was there. Frank, we didn't miss Frank Meister, right? You said Frank Meister, didn't you? I said
Frank Meister, yep.
Yeah. We didn't miss you, Frank. But like the news people were even reporting some things and I'm like, that's not what anybody on the internet even said. Like, did they say it like this or did they say it like this?
Well, I've been told that he said he in a confession, he actually said their names. I killed Blake, Abby, and Libby. In that, in a confession, by using their names, it referenced that he had known them before he did this. So I'm like, I've never heard that from anybody. So I want to see the notes for myself.
I did hear the one from February 2024 where he apparently said this was another kind of one that one person said it one way, the other person said it another way, that he was apparently asleep and talking in his sleep and the guard heard him and said that he was sad or, he was sorry that he had killed Abby, but he doesn't even mention Libby. Right. So, but then I didn't, but some people say, no, he was just walking around his cell apologizing. Somebody else said, no, they said he was sleeping. And I'm like, okay. I don't know how much really matters in the long run. But I'm still like, I mean, that's still interesting things to just know factually what was actually said.
Right. And then I heard he said that he wanted to kill his family. And then I was told, no, that is not what they said in the trial. What they said is he felt like he was killing his family by having to have them go through all of this. So which one which one is it? He planned on doing this to his family before he did this to the girls, or he feels like he's killing them because they have to go through all this and he doesn't want them to see what he did.
Right.
You know.
Which one is it?
Right. And then let's see.
There was also something about somebody, I don't remember which notes these were from or whose channel I was watching, but something about that, like the killing of the family came along with like when he was talking about that he was considering unaliving himself.
Right.
That's how he would go about things or something like that, but he would never be able to do anything like that because he's a coward.
Right.
I don't remember the exact verbiage right this second, so, but it was something else like that. So it's just a little tweak on that story.
Right. And then there was more conflicting information with the eating the feces. Somebody said that he actually, while he was doing this, was running around and saying, "I'm a piece of shit," and told intimate details of the crime. So, see what I mean? I mean, these people that went there are great, but like you said, it's their perspective. They can hear things differently because they're writing things down. They can miss some things, and we're not here saying you did anything wrong.
Oh gosh, no! I'm thankful for everybody who went,
because I'm in Wisconsin. I don't get to go to these, so I am so thankful that each and every single one of them go and take their notes and everything. But it's nice to have the transcripts afterwards to make sure that we're putting out, accurate information.
right?
And can fix anything that's been said in the past. But because I've had people emailing me saying everybody is saying this wrong. Well, okay, that's how you heard it, but that's how they heard it. Which one is right? For someone that didn't get to go, then you're in a rock and a hard place because you're like, I don't know which one is right because I wasn't there.
Right. And then I'm like trying to do a live and I'm like, let me just preface all of this by the fact that I wasn't there. So I'm just trying to figure it all out myself,
And what we do know that those people got right was horrendous. What happened to those girls?
Heartbreaking to think that, like, and I know Anna wasn't at the hearings, but that Libby's family was sitting there listening to that. And this is a very minute part of what they're going to end up seeing and hearing.
Exactly.
And that's just,
it's going to get a lot worse at the trial.
It's going to get a lot worse.
And that family is so strong to sit there and listen to it because there's a lot that can't. They have to leave when it comes to stuff like that. So I give Becky and the whole family kudos for actually sitting there and bearing it and listening to it. I'm hoping that they were prepared some beforehand. And
from my understanding, it seems that both sides of attorneys, and somebody who was there can correct me if I'm wrong, but just my understanding was that both sets of attorneys went to like each side, like with Kathy and Janice and the people that were sitting with them, and then went over all, and the prosecutors went over to the families and said, okay, like, everybody, like, be prepared for
right
what's coming and what we're going to be talking about.
I do know in some trials, the prosecutor will actually, or the advocate for the family, will actually take them in a room and pre-show them photographs.
Oh, God.
So that they're not mortified there in front of everybody in the cameras if it's televised. I don't know if that was done in this case, but no matter what, it hurts. It hurts these people. And
And the one thing that I think from all the family that has spoken publicly and said anything with Becky when he was very first arrested, to Anna even in the last couple of months in Facebook groups, Carrie back when she was in Facebook groups,
Yep.
all the family members are all kind of stating like, we want to see the evidence to like make sure they have the right guy.
Right.
So I think part of it is like, we have to know that this is who did it. And a lot of people have said like the families don't know a lot more than the public knows. They know some things, like they've heard the audio and so on, but they don't know everything.
No, they don't.
So they're like, we want to make sure that they have the evidence that this is the guy.
Right.
And all of them have said that in their own way at their own time. So I'm like, maybe there's like, I have to sit here through this because it's important to know that that justice is actually coming with the right person.
Right. I agree. I've seen so many families go through so many different emotions and feelings. Some of them can't sit there at all. They can't listen to that part of it, so they leave. Some of them sit there just to honor their loved one.
Yeah.
And make sure that the jury sees the family is united and wants justice for their loved one. Some of them sit there because they need to hear the evidence and see it for themselves to know that the police got the right person. Absolutely. And my heart just goes to all of them. It really does.
I know. Me too.
It can't be easy at all to sit there and see those pictures and listen to explicit, specific details of how their loved one was killed. I don't know if I could mentally take that.
And unless like you said, that maybe they had this is what, they already know that part. And so it's just reliving it, which is, still traumatic.
Right.
But I hope it's not the first time they're hearing some of this stuff. That would be,
sometimes it is.
Piss me off, actually. I think like sit them in a courtroom, but we do. I know like other cases, like with Gannon Stout, there was things that they were learning in that courtroom they didn't know before. And they were having a very hard time listening to it because nobody had told them some of those details, and they were horrendous.
Yes. Another case that reminds me of is Travis Alexander's.
Oh yeah.
His brother and sisters didn't know a lot of the details, and they found them out in court. And you could tell by their reaction, because the camera automatically zoomed to them, God forbid you let these people have a moment, but you could tell they were just crucified and oh yeah.
So I think that's another issue that and not to defend that she doesn't have cameras in the courtroom, but it's another issue that I have seen coming up a lot in trials that are now being televised lately, is like the focusing on the family members, the focusing on the defendant, like spending too much time looking at one particular person over the other.
Yes.
So I think like with like Judge Boyce and Judge and like and Judge Werner in the Gannon Stout case, like they have those stationary cameras that they just stream it straight to their channel, and that's
right.
That's where it goes. There is no ability to be zooming in and doing any of that stuff. And I think it might be better. So then they don't have the issue. It's not good quality, but it's better than having to disrupt the trial all the time. Even just in the Karen Reed case, it was done by Court TV as like a pool camera, and then you end up with a jury member on there, and not their fault because she just walked in the wrong door. But still, like you have no control over it. With the streaming, the judge takes care of it. The judge and the court clerk.
Right. And I think a lot more judges have to be aware of that option, so that we can continue to watch these trials, because we do learn a lot. At least I have. In all the years I've watched these trials,
yes,
I've learned a tremendous amount, and I'm a trial watcher junkie. When I was working and I was able to listen to whatever I wanted, it was mainly trials that I was listening to. So I love watching trials and learning from them. And people think I'm my husband, he's like, how can you watch hours upon hours of that? I'm like, I just can. It's something I don't have to watch. I can listen to and work at the same time.
Yep. I love watching a good trial. My husband, I think, only ever watched the Casey Anthony trial with me, and my dad would actually come over, like we would record it, and then he'd come over and we'd have dinner, and then we'd sit down and watch like the day's Casey Anthony trial, and we all watched it together. I think that's the only one my husband's actually ever watched the entire thing with me. It was like and we were all just like, what in the F just happened?
All right, so we've got over 100 people in here. Some have come in and asking again. I'm just going to recap.
Do it.
Criminality and I requested transcripts. They want, as an estimated amount, $4,300 for the transcripts. And we have to pay half up front, and then the other half. Now, that is the first person that requests the transcripts to actually be transcribed has to pay that amount. After the first person pays that amount, then it's $1 per page for anybody else who wants it. So we're hoping the attorneys will ask for the transcripts so that we only have to pay $1 per page, which is still $750 to $800. And we're going to need everybody's help to do that, because we can't do it on our own. I wish I could.
I definitely can't pull off the 4,300. I don't think that my husband's going to be like, you just did what?
My husband would be like, you haven't even made that much in seven months on YouTube.
On YouTube. Yeah. Like, where's the return on that investment? And I'm like, we have the truth. The truth is the return on the investment. He's like, oh, dear Lord.
Like, my husband's like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. I mean, he was like, what? You just paid $122 for some transcripts? I'm like, yeah, but I got donations for it. Don't worry.
Well, I mean, like, that's why we've done the other ones. And so I think it's better if we start doing it together, because then it isn't. Right. We're not even paying that, even if we spent like 122, it would have been what, $60 each.
Right.
That's like a good takeout dinner.
Exactly. Well, $4,300 could be a car.
Yeah, that's a couple mortgage payments.
Yeah. I mean, I could buy one of my kids a car for that, a used car for that amount.
Yeah, speaking of, I have my oldest is turning 16 next week. So, yeah, that could be a down payment on a car.
Yeah, I've got my oldest in college that is going to need a new car. And then I've got my son who will be 16 next year, and that's going to be another car. I'm like, oh my goodness. I can't take it.
Too much. So that's where we're at. Yeah, so that's why I'm like, let's just we can do it together. The better off, and we'll just go that route with it. Everybody wants them. Everybody wants to see them. So we're just gonna cross our fingers that the attorneys take some time this week to send in a request to have them transcribed for themselves, and then we can get them for the $750, $800.
Exactly.
Do a 24-hour live stream for donations. Fuck, I don't think I could hang.
Maybe if we did it on one channel and we had like 7 or 8 creators and we could swap in and out.
Yeah, I need a nap in there somewhere.
Exactly. I would not be able to stay awake for 24 hours.
Yeah, 20 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So,
once again, like if it changes and somebody does request it, like we'll immediately tell you guys, like, hey, we've got what we need to do it, and we're good to go, and we'll send in the request. And
well, from the comments I'm seeing, there's a lot that said, wait a week and see what happens.
which I think is fine anyway, because she said it's gonna take her 4 to 6 weeks.
Exactly.
We're just kind of putting out the info for you guys to kind of have an idea of where we're at with anything. But if they do, which hopefully wait a week, I don't think it's going to hurt anything. It's going to take us that much, time to raise the funds regardless. So
exactly. Yeah, I don't think we're going to do it overnight. That's for sure.
Yeah, because we ain't pulling no 24 hours. The other thing is somebody said, hold on, let me see if I can scroll back up. And if anybody, just an FYI, if you do donate, if you do like a super chat or a super sticker on anybody's channel, just always know that YouTube does take 30% of that. And it also doesn't come in a payment form to us until the following month after.
Right.
So whatever you super chat to like Marv today, she won't see until September 22nd-ish.
So it's better if you use Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo.
Look at Dan's in for it. Dan's I'll do 24 hours. Yeah, Dan could probably handle it.
Dan could do it. He could do it.
What are we going to do about the trial? I know. I know.
Well, at this rate, I may end up going to the trial if I don't find a job. So, job market is not very strong right now.
Which is interesting because there should be a lot of jobs.
You would think so.
Yeah, you're right. It's tough. So I want to go to the trial. I also know that there's like 40 seats.
Yes.
In the courtroom. So chances of getting in. I had bought a ticket for when the trial was in May, but I was smart enough to buy when I could move to whenever I wanted it to be. So,
okay.
But it's only for 1 week of the trial because, I got 3 kids. I can't just bounce for a month and be like, see ya. My husband thinks it would be a good idea. And then he's like, the first day I'd be gone, he'd be like, I can't do this by myself.
Yeah. I think we could swing it for me to be gone a month. It would be a little tough on my husband, but they could handle it. So we got to wait and see if there's going to be a trial in October. Don't forget, the defense still has 2 continuations.
Yeah.
And if Gull takes away their Odinist defense, third-party defense, they're going to have to come up with something new.
I'd be surprised if they're not already working on backup plans.
I would hope so, but
I don't think that I was talking about this the other day too on my live stream. She's not going to, in my opinion, I should say, I don't know. I obviously have no idea what the heck she's really going to do, but in my opinion, I don't think she's going to walk in and be like, you guys have nothing. You cannot present a third-party defense at all with this. She's going to regulate how they do it.
Right.
Like where it can come in at, when they can say certain things, what type of witnesses they can talk to. I mean, because if she just blankets like, hey, you can't do this, then she takes away his constitutional rights to a defense, which as much as she pains me most of the time, I don't think she's going to do that. She's just going to control it where it needs to be controlled or where she thinks it needs to be controlled.
Right.
So I don't think she can just say like, yeah, too bad, so sad, figure out something else you need to do. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're working on other things at the same time anyway.
I would hope so. I would hope so.
I mean, they're both, if you look at like their track records, they're both very good defense attorneys. I know people don't like them in the Delphi case, which, everybody has the right to their opinion, but they have very good track records as defense attorneys. So
they've done things that I don't like and don't agree with, but that's in every trial. I mean, sometimes I don't agree with how the prosecution does things.
Right.
I guess it's just hit or miss. Sometimes they both do phenomenal, and you don't have to worry about it. But then again, most of the time one is like, you're like, what are you doing?
Did you watch the Ashley Benefield trial?
No, I did not get to see that one.
Yeah, so I'm on the side of I think that she's guilty, and I thought those prosecutors absolutely did a terrible job. So it's not like my opinion on the lawyer really doesn't come to an agreement with what I think of the actual defendant sometimes.
Right.
It's just, yeah, the prosecutors, I was like, I don't even know what they're doing right now. I don't know why they're doing things the way they're doing it. But
I did hear, I think I heard the first day and I went, what? I did not understand their whole way they were doing things. And I'm like, maybe that's like why I didn't watch the other days, because I'm like, this is not making sense. And then I got busy and things happened and
yeah, life.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, I can miss this one.
How about Karen Reed? Did you watch Karen Reed?
I watched that one.
See, but listening to Lolly's like going to sleep.
I know.
And then we have like these very charismatic defense attorneys that a lot of people don't like, but they're very good defense attorneys.
Yep. And there's a reason they're like that. You know, they want that jury to stay awake and pay attention. So they go off the rails sometimes. And
yep.
So what can we say? Gotta love it and hate it at the same time is right. my thinking. And then you just make the best decision you can as a person and hope the jury does the same thing.
That's what, at the end of everything, our opinion is literally just our opinion on YouTube, and we don't get to sit on that jury of 12 who makes the final decision. And we can think whatever we want. We have no clue what those 12 people are going to do.
Yeah. But you can tell the people that watch trials all the time, because like I watched The Lawyer You Know, and the audience pretty much nails it on the head most of the time because they're avid trial watchers. And it ends up being what they, what they say in the because they always have polls. What do you think? Guilty, not guilty? And it usually goes with what the jury says. So, but
they get a good feel for it.
They do. And you can tell by when he's talking and telling about the trial and what's happening, what they're saying in the chat makes sense. So, yeah, I love Peter too. Sleuthy Goosey says, love Peter, Lawyer You Know. Yep. He is my go-to. So, but yeah, so we just wanted to do this live, get together, and let you all know that we need help with donations to get the transcripts. And hopefully, I don't know, cross my fingers, if this happens in October and it goes to trial, I might just be able to be there. We'll see.
Yep, my plan is to try to be there for 1 week, and I'm just accepting whether I make it into the actual courtroom or not. I still want to be there. I still want to visit. Still want to see everybody who does make it into the trial, Yep. We see each other on here all the time, so it'd still be super cool to actually meet everybody in person and
exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Make the most of it regardless.
I agree.
You've been to prior hearings, and you've been to the bridge. You've done all of those things, right? I mean, I remember seeing you on the news.
I have not been to the hearings, but I've been all over Delphi. I've been all over Tipton. I've been all over Florida. Yeah. Because I
remember seeing you on the news when you had the longer hair.
That was right after Richard Allen was arrested, and we all went to the bridge and had a walk, and everybody left, and I was the only one there when this reporter came up. It was me and one other person, so we got interviewed. And yes, that's when I had long hair.
Yeah, I remember that. So the trial is going to be in Delphi, or in Carroll County. It's at the Carroll County Courthouse in Delphi. So even though she's an Allen County judge, it's in the small Carroll County courtroom.
Right.
But and to be fair, there are already cameras in that courtroom. They're already set up to stream, so she wouldn't have to do anything additional except for hit a button.
I think because it's been such a fiasco, she does not want to televise it. Because you got to remember, this woman was on the committee to bring the camera into the courtroom. And she was for it.
Yep. The only thing is, too, is that I'm hoping that from everybody I listened to, it seemed that all the attorneys and everybody was getting along much better than they normally had. That she was much more perceptive, paying attention, speaking to everybody essentially the same. She didn't seem like there was anything, any bias there. So I'm like, maybe they're moving in like a productive way, that she's like, okay, we're not going to have cameras for anything pre-trial because we don't want jury, to contaminate the jury pool. But maybe once we're in trial, we'll open it up, because she has received a ton of letters from local people in, citizens of Indiana, taxpayers. The Supreme Court has received a ton of, hey, we want to watch this, but we can't. And we literally are taxpayers, or we're Delphi citizens, and we can't get to a courtroom.
Right. Well, not to mention, they know this is not just a case that is being watched from the United States. This is happening all over the world.
Yep.
So I'm hoping if they televise it, I'll be here on YouTube, or somewhere else. But if not, then I'm going to try to, and I don't have a job at that time, I'm going to try to go to the trial.
Yeah, but it's also interesting because she doesn't let people bring their cell phones in, so people can't even like live tweet as they go along. Like, it is literally pen and paper only.
Yes.
And that's it. So it's, and then hoping that you can read what those people wrote, and hoping they can read their own handwriting.
Exactly. I've had a couple people say, don't show my notes, I don't write well. I'm like, don't worry, I won't. But I'm thankful for all those notes, being somebody who does not live there.
Well, yeah, me too. That's why I'm like, I don't care. Even if they get a little something wrong, we'll figure it out. Yeah. I'm just appreciative of everybody who goes. That's a lot of time to invest. Yes. A lot of people stay in hotels. That's a lot of money to invest. Oh, that's somebody else that was there. It was Aspen was there.
Yes, that's who.
We forgot him earlier.
So many.
I don't know how I could ever forget Aspen, but
yeah, so many people. So, like you said, boots on the ground. I am so thankful for all of those individuals. I know that I couldn't do lives right away on it. Deb, True Crime Notebook with Deb, she did fantastic lives. You did
super quick, right to the point lives. Yes. Yeah. Here I am taking 4 hours to talk about it. Deb's like, I got that shit done in 20 minutes.
So many other people on YouTube, even on the Facebook groups. I had to watch a lot of them just get caught up, and because I moved my daughter into college that weekend. So I'm like, that it stopped, and I'm like, oh my God. So yeah. So everybody knows what's been said out there. We just want to fine tune some details by getting the transcripts.
And I'll be honest, it's one of the more enjoyable parts of covering this case is like I have everybody like play it like they play like their role, and they come on and we just do a straight through like read through. Yeah, it's one of my favorite parts of covering the case, even though because it's such a horrendous case to begin with. But I mean, at least we interact with each other, and it's more productive than somebody's just sitting there just talking about whatever our opinions are, and we get to enjoy it versus just like a boring read.
And Andrea and I can attest to that because, we're reading the documents from Tabitha's case and we get into it.
Yeah.
You get into, even Frosty came and helped the one night when I had a migraine, and he says, oh my God, you get into the part on what you're reading and your voice starts fluctuating and everything. And I'm like, exactly.
Right. You do. But it makes it, like I said, it just makes it more enjoyable to get through reading something that sometimes is very mundane. And as we all know, the defense attorneys in this case can be extremely repetitive. So,
oh, you should read some of the stuff out of Tipton. You'd get a kick out of it. The one deposition was like a Saturday Night Live skit. I swear to God.
did you do it? Did you do it on your channel?
I did.
I'm gonna go back and watch it.
I'm like, oh my God. And Andrea and I could only do so many pages a night because it was so hard to read. And we would just start cracking up. The audience is like, what is up? And we're like, you guys, the way this is written is just nuts.
Andrew's like, we laughed all the way through it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's hard because there are people who get like upset when you're talking about something tragic. And I'm like, but sometimes like you kind of have to laugh at some of the stuff that isn't the tragic stuff. You know what I mean? Because now, I mean, if you're laughing about the tragic stuff, I think that's a bit different. But the other stuff, it's like sometimes it's silly. Like I read emotion and I'm like, okay, Baldwin wrote this one. I can tell like right after that. You know what I mean? Like, you just know.
Yeah, I agree. And their styles are so different. And I mean, this deposition has the victim's name wrong.
Oh, geez.
And I'm like, how do you do that?
Oh, jeez.
You know, I'm like, oh, it just things infuriate me. And then other things just make me giggle because you know that they're talking in slang. The actual person that's giving testimony is talking in slang in the
and then there's somebody trying to transcribe it.
deposition. Somebody's trying to transcribe it. And then all of a sudden the officer starts talking like that too. So you got double and then you're like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be able to read that with a straight face. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah. Yep. It's the dumbass questions that were repetitive with the same damn answer. They all do it. They all do it. So, but yeah, I'm glad that we're going to join forces and work together to try to get these transcripts. When the trial comes, we'll deal with that.
Yeah, that's a whole separate beast. And let's just cross our fingers that she changes her mind. I know that's a slim chance, but you know, a chance is better than nothing. And maybe since it's the trial, there's no jury pool to have to worry about, and she'll know she has cameras already set up in the courtroom, and she can just stream it versus having to have court TV in there because she was really pissed at court TV for that other hearing. You know, so maybe.
And I think I'm going to be one of those people that write her a letter and just let her know that fact for sure. Hey, I'm from Wisconsin. Can you please live stream this through the court where you have control? Because you do have that set up. All you got to do is push a button. Show her how.
She have control over the entire thing. So I'm hoping. I mean, she likes control.
Right.
So perfect. There you go. Or at least give us the audio, like later. Give us the audio, like they did with Lori Vallow.
Yes.
You know, I think it was like $200 a day for the audio tape, which is still an outrageous amount of money. But I guarantee when it comes to a trial like that, if they did release the audio, their news stations would buy it. So news stations aren't going to go buy these transcripts, but news stations would buy
audio.
You know, the court TVs and so on are going to, you know, even the locals will go and buy an audio, so we could still hear it.
Yes. I agree. Something. Give us something. So we will let all of you know once somebody orders these transcripts, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then we will start really fundraising for them, because then they'll know exactly how much we're going to pay too.
Right.
They'll know how many pages there are. But in the meantime, if you want to donate, my moderators are dropping Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App. And criminality, I'm sure your group knows
Yep.
what yours
And
are.
mine's on my channel under my link tree under my about section. So I mean, it doesn't.
So is
Once
mine.
again, we're gonna put it all together and do whatever we can with it. So that's
Yep.
where we're at.
Yeah, exactly. And we're just, and it, like I said, if any of the other creators want to join in, and just let us know. We'll get the money to criminality in the end and get them ordered and get them scanned in.
Yep.
And then we'll be able to pass them out and get it out to the audience.
So, well, thank you, Mark, for letting me come up and hang out with you. I appreciate it. I'm so glad that we're going to combine forces. So thank you for having me up here. I'm going to go cook some dinner.
All right. Well, enjoy your dinner.
Yes. Have fun. I'm glad you're feeling better.
I'm getting there.
Good.
Slowly but surely getting there.
All right. I'll see you later. I'll see you guys in chat. Thank you guys for everything that you guys do. You guys, the only reason anything ever works is because of these people that are in chat that support us. So we love you all. Thank you. And I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you. All right. Just want to say, Paradise City, thank you so much. $4.99 towards transcripts. And Curious Contrion, smash that like, $9.99. Thank you so much. And thank you to Carly, who donated a membership. I'm actually scheduling a membership live here as soon as I get one more time and date for an activity for my son. So I believe I have the day picked out, and that it's going to work with everybody's schedule. Now that I'm feeling better and I can get on here more, we're going to go for full force. So thank you, everyone that came in, that has donated. I have not checked PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo yet, but I will. And we'll make sure that that money goes for the transcripts and getting those. So thank you to all my moderators, Jinx, Andrea, Miranda, and Misty, if you're in here, and Carly. I appreciate all of you helping out and dropping all the Cash App and other links that we have. So thank you so much, and I will see you probably, what is today? I don't even know what day it is. It's Wednesday. I will be live again on Friday. Thank you, and have a great night, everyone. Bye.